Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today I have a special guest, Francesca de Grana. We go way back as prosecutors, and she now took over her father's practice, and she's here to tell us all about it. So welcome, Francesca. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Francesca de Grana. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So Francesca, you and I first met when we were prosecutors. Way back then, we were baby attorneys, junior attorneys. Why don't you tell us about what you remember from those days?
Oh my goodness. With you, I have vivid memories of you always being the best trial partner and pushing the cart.
I did push the cart.
You pushed the cart in felony when we were felony trial partners. You pushed the cart pretty much every day because I remember because I always had coffee.
That's true. You did have the coffee.
You did too, but you would put it in the box. And back then it was crazy because we had paper files. We didn't have laptops like they have now. And you and I tried an aggravated assault deadly weapon together where someone tried to run someone over with a car. Do you remember that trial?
I don't.
I do. I was second chair. I'm surprised you don't
I was
remember.
first chair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my memory, I'm getting old.
Yeah. So I remember that trial specifically with you. And then I remember one day during lunch, I barged into your office and you were praying. And I said, "Oh my God, I love your rug." And you were like, "I'm praying and you're rude." Because I just barged in your office. But
It was a magic carpet like in Aladdin.
magic carpet, yeah. So no, I mean, we have so many memories, but it was a lot of work. It was fun. There was so much camaraderie back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely one of the biggest things I miss about the state attorney's office, because when we go private, depending on how big the firm is, it's not as, it can be fun, but it's not as fun, not as communal.
It's definitely not the same, for sure. I think that's the biggest thing I miss about it is the camaraderie, the friendships that you develop, and just the everyday in court battles and trial. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, we were pretty good at it, if I could say so myself.
Thanks. I think you were good too.
Thank you. What made you transition into private practice?
I always knew I wanted to do criminal defense. When I was younger, I never knew that I wanted to be an attorney. It just organically happened. I graduated from FSU early, moved home in the middle of a recession, wanted to be an event planner. Yeah, there was no market for that in Tampa back then in 2007. So I needed a job, got a job wherever I could find one, was working at a T-Mobile selling cell phones and cell phone plans. Was miserable. So my dad was like, "Listen, I'm paying this temp service a lot of money an hour for a bilingual receptionist. If you want to answer phones and help out, I'll cancel the contract. You can come answer phones. I'll pay you $8 an hour."
Wow, a whopping $8. That was a good pay back then.
And I was like, hell yeah. So I just went to work for him, and in the interim I was applying at other jobs. But within like two to 3 months of working with my dad, I started asking a lot of questions and started pulling files and reading reports and going through like call transcripts with drug dealers. I'm like, this is so cool. And listening to client consultations, just like, you know, eavesdropping. And then one day I had this aha moment, and I was just sitting there watching all the attorneys in the office do their thing, and I'm like, I could do this. Like, I could do this. This is so cool. And watching my dad in court, there was one particular moment where he had a motion to suppress on a drug case, and the law enforcement officers exceeded the scope of the search warrant, and like the judge ruled, boom, guy went home to his family. Never forget that moment. So it's like, how cool that you can be the difference between someone's freedom.
Yeah, the impact that you have on their life.
Yeah, like there's no other type of law. So I always knew that was the end result, but how I was going to get there, okay, now I got to take the LSAT.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to do this prosecution thing, because to me it's like residency for a doctor, right?
Yeah.
And when I was
great analogy.
Yeah. That's what I like explain to people, either that or the public defender's office. But I was able to intern at the DA's office in Houston when I was in law school. And I watched a lot of phenomenal prosecutors. And I was like, okay, I want to do this first.
What is it about the prosecutor's office that makes you a better lawyer?
So as a prosecutor, you have to learn how to put on a case and prove every element of your case. So knowing that, starting an intake, okay, I'm going to file this charge because I have X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
I have all the evidence to back it up. So that's where we started, right?
Yeah.
In misdemeanor intake. At the state attorney's office, when we started, they put us in misdemeanor intake. So we would have that stack of files on the shelf. We would open it up, look at the proposed charge, say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what do I need to prove this case? Do I have these photos? I have these reports. I have fingerprint, whatever the evidence is.
Mm-hmm.
So we know everything we need to prove the case. So on the flip side, when you jump to the dark side, I guess you want to call it.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah. I don't think it's the dark side. It's the better side. But we know what they need. And
Mm-hmm.
we know, okay, if I was we can literally put ourselves in their shoes.
Right.
If I had this case, what could move me? What could change my mind? So we know how to mitigate really well as defense attorneys. We also know if there are any holes in the case because we've tried those cases. And aside from that, you get to know everyone in the office. So it's a lot easier now if I need something. I know a lot of the paralegals, support staff, judges.
Yeah.
Being a prosecutor and and that's what I tell a lot of these young attorneys, is try as many cases as you can. And it doesn't matter, like, it's in front of different judges, different divisions. If somebody needs a second chair, jump on it. I think by the time I left, I had tried a case in front of every single misdemeanor and felony judge.
Wow, that's a lot of trials.
So
How many trials did you have before you left?
I don't even remember. I think I kept a folder. Somebody told me to do that, and I would print out all the verdict forms. I don't remember. I didn't really keep track. And then, in juvenile, we did so many bench trials.
Yeah. Every day, dozens.
Hundreds, I'm sure. I don't even remember. But the biggest thing for me is now that I'm on the other side is I can say I know majority, almost all the people at the state attorney's office, the judges, the JAs, because you form those relationships as soon as you start, whether you're at the state attorney's office or the public defender's office.
Yeah. Now, for someone who's potentially thinking about going to law school or in law school, going to graduate soon, what advice would you have for them? Is the state attorney or public defender a good place to start?
It depends on what you want to do. I considered myself very fortunate because when I started law school, I knew what the end game was. It's like, I'm going to be a trial lawyer, but I'm going to start at the state attorney's office so I can get trial experience. A lot of people that I went to law school with, they're not even practicing law. They're doing real estate.
Yeah.
It depends. Like, look at you. You went to the prosecutor's office and now you're doing personal injury and property loss, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think that you can go wrong at all starting at the state attorney's office or the public defender's office. Susie, I better get good deals for this. I'm just kidding. Because you learn how to become a better attorney, and you're actually in the courtroom trying cases, using the rules of evidence. Most attorneys sit behind a desk all day and push paper. We don't do that.
Right.
We were in court twice a day, 5 days a week.
Trials, motions,
Depositions.
yeah. So my advice, I tell them, I think it's a great place to start, even if you don't want to end up being a criminal attorney. It's a great place because you hone your skills. You're in court, just like you said. Most attorneys aren't even in court. They don't know. They've never been in front of a jury. They're uncomfortable arguing in front of a judge. But when you're a prosecutor, this is what you're doing day in, day out. And it really teaches you a lot of skills that transition to other areas of the practice of law as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You learn how to talk. And it's so funny because I remember there were times where we would be in court and an attorney would come in to cover a criminal case, and we would all be like, that's not a criminal attorney.
Right,
it's like this thing where we just know how to speak.
Yeah.
You learn how to speak better. You know how to talk to people.
The way you carry yourself even.
100%. How you move about in the courtroom, you can tell if that person,
Yeah. It's there's a little bit of theatrics, but it's part of the show, right? I mean, if you think about it, especially as a prosecutor, you are putting on a show. And if you're a good criminal defense attorney, you're putting on a show in response to the state. Yeah, and that's something you don't learn when you're just sitting behind a desk in front of a computer.
No, and you learn to think on your feet.
Yeah.
Which is important. I don't think that you can go wrong. And also, criminal law, maybe I'm biased, is so entertaining.
100%.
You're going to be entertained every day.
I miss the fun part of the of the criminal law, because the stories, the things that you come across, I don't think any other area of law you come across as fun as stories as you do in the criminal aspect. So there's a lot of entertaining stories for sure.
I know, we have so many.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Remember all the sovereign citizens?
Oh God, I was just telling someone about that. The trial that I had, it was a pro se sovereign citizen, go to trial. It was a cluster of a case. It was painful. It was actually really painful. I did not enjoy it, but I got a guilty as charged.
Yeah.
So the end result was good, but it was a very agonizing trial.
Yeah, I had a sovereign citizen, Nikki Moore and I actually, exposure of sexual organs. He was masturbating with the car door open in front of a girl going to school.
Oh,
so
no.
That was a really great opening statement. Great poker face.
Uh-huh.
He was found guilty, but
And he tried that himself, pro se?
pro se
Wow.
in front of Judge Loeffler. Those are the cases you'll never forget.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I really have to try this.
Yeah.
Are we really? Yeah.
And they make you try it. You have no choice, and that's not someone you're obviously going to let off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did the weight of the burden that you carry as a prosecutor, did that ever weigh on you?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, I'll tell you about my personal
Yeah.
experience. The weight of being just in that position, because as a prosecutor, you have a lot of power. And just like you were saying earlier, when that person was let free, I think of it the other way around. When I was a prosecutor, if I do injustice to this person and I put them away and it was unjust, then that weight kind of carried on me. And then the flip side of it was also doing right by the citizens of the state of Florida and the people of the state of Florida, make sure that I put the bad guys that needed to be put away, put them away. And that stress, that daily grind, eventually just honestly, it got to me.
No,
So
I would agree with that. For me, it would depend on the person's record and the charge.
Mhm.
Obviously, things like firearms, violence, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, some domestic violence cases. I felt like sometimes I would even get in trouble. I'm just being candid.
Yeah.
Because I would get a lot of feedback from my supervisors, like, this person had possession of drugs and they were in here for 60 days and you just give them time served and they picked up another possession. I'm like, it's a little bit of, weed.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
are we really going to waste taxpayer money on something like that?
Yeah.
So it would depend. I would say case by case. I felt like I was just very fair in what I went after. I always had like a reasoning behind it. And so not so much as a prosecutor, way more now.
Really?
In my role
How so?
as a defense attorney, because, I'm on the line for my client. If
Yeah.
they hire me on a case and the offer's 24 months prison right out the gate, like, that's where I'm starting, So it's always a mountain. It's constant mountain climbing on this side.
Yeah, that's true.
The prosecutors don't get that. They don't understand that we're going every morning from courtroom to courtroom, juggling different facts. And it's not just that. I'm juggling the wife. I'm juggling the kids. It's not just the client that I'm representing. I've got the whole
Yeah, the
family. I've got
family.
everybody on my back.
Mhm.
And they hired me because they know that I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do a good job. But that's a lot of pressure.
Right.
And so to me, it's much different. The prosecutor, they don't have to worry about phone calls after 5 p.m. Some of them do, I'm not saying all of them, but
Right.
it's just so different on this side. So for me, that burden is way heavier
Mhm.
in the defense.
Yeah, I think having seen the defense attorneys running around courtrooms, balancing different cases in different jurisdictions, even not just the different courthouses, and then then you have jail calls and you have jail visits, and then the after hours, got arrested at midnight and they're calling you situation. So I can imagine that it's a tireless and working 24 hours kind of job.
Yeah, it's my first couple of years, I had to learn firm boundaries. So growing up, I always saw my dad, always answering the phone, always, and it's kind of like a learned habit, right? That's how I am. I always answer the phone. I always return phone calls. To me, that's what a professional does.
Mm-hmm.
I am a professional. I own a business. If I don't answer the call, that's money. So, yeah, we're on the line. But there's also has to be that balance between, I can take this 9:30 p.m. phone call on a Friday night, or I can go relax and spend time with my family. So you have to make a hard decision sometimes. Yeah. And, it's all relative.
Speaking of your father, he was a legend in the criminal defense.
Legends never die.
Legends never die, no. So what was that like for such a well-respected attorney that he was, to work with him, first of all, during when he practiced, and then his retirement and taking over his practice? What was that like, stepping into his shoes?
So one of my close friends, when I announced that I had bought out my dad's practice, and I rebranded, did a new logo, all that stuff. Actually, you know them, Eric and Erica Hubbs.
Of course.
Shout out to my favorite Miami criminal defense and immigration attorneys. And they said, it's not about stepping into your dad's shoes. It's about stepping into your own. And that stuck with me, because my dad is pretty much the reason why I decided to become an attorney. Like, for my whole life, my dad was... Every morning I would be like eating breakfast, and he would always come be on his way to work, and he would kiss my brother and I, and he always smelled so good. He always dressed to the nines, like sharp. Amazing, right?
Sharp dresser, for sure.
So sharp. But that, to me, I was like, that's just how it is. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older and I started to go out to nightclubs and stuff, and I would meet older guys, and I'm Francesca de Grana, and is your dad Frank de Grana? Oh, your dad's the suit guy. And like all these young lawyers are referring to my dad as the suit guy. And I remember thinking, okay, I didn't really think much of it. Now, when I became a prosecutor, I'm going to really piss off the defense bar, but I'm just going to be real.
Tell it like it is.
When I became a prosecutor and I saw like how all the other attorneys dressed, I was like, my dad is the suit guy.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Best dress.
Well, like that meme about if your lawyer looks like this, you're going to jail. It's true.
It's true. I mean, listen, one thing that I have learned, and one thing my dad has taught me, is when you look a certain way, people treat you a certain way.
For sure.
And if you look the part and you back it up, I mean, what better, representation are you?
Right.
So I saw that growing up. I'm going to land the plane. Sorry, Mo. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent.
Go for it.
But I'm an observer, and I learn by watching. So my whole life, right, I watch this person every day, always looking sharp, always smelling good, always respectful, always prepared, working hard, boom, 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 boom. So then working in his office, I started answering phones, doing the calendar, but then little by little, I started doing pleadings. Hey, how do I file this motion? Because I wanted to. I was so eager. But because I started at the bottom and was observing how this attorney worked, how that attorney worked, in my opinion, it made me the attorney that I am today, because I know how to do everything that it takes, starting from answering the phone, filing a notice of appearance. I mean, everything. I can do every role. And so my dad was practicing in a different generation. Back when when I worked for him, we had a runner. Let me just explain to you what that is. If you filed a notice of appearance on a case right now, it's $240. You couldn't e-file. E-file didn't exist.
Right.
So your runner would take the paper document and they would run it to the clerk. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
So, and then back then, my dad didn't know how to use Microsoft Word. Emails weren't a thing.
Yeah.
So back in my dad's day, he was killing it. He was a rock star. He had the most incredible assistant for over 30 years. They were the dream team, but it's different. So I learned so much from him, and I took what I learned from him and I kind of made my own version of like today's Frank 2.0.
So how did you put your own personality, your own spin, your own flavor on it?
So you brought up social media in the beginning. Social media wasn't a thing. And when I took over, so my dad's pretty much been retired for, let's say, 3 years now. But officially, like, signed, sealed, delivered as of January 2025, it's mine. Kevin Hazlett, shout out to him. was always encouraging me, Francesca, you got to start doing videos. You got to start doing videos. One more thing. One more thing. It doesn't have to be fancy, whatever. So over a year ago, I bought a little microphone on Amazon, bought some lights, and Katerina and I just started doing videos. And I'm not even kidding you, Mo. Like, probably the first one we did, at the very end, I was like, shut up and call us. And I just looked at her and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That is it. So it was important for me. I was a marketing major. If we do these videos, we've got to have some tagline. There's got to be something, right? I don't know who you follow on social media, but for example, the Pasta Queen, this woman has millions of followers. And she has certain taglines she says when she's cooking, like, just gorgeous. And it's like her thing.
Yeah.
So like, what could be our thing? So it was shut up and call us. And we just started saying it after every video, and it started sticking. And the feedback we were getting was incredible. So my best friend told me, you've got to see if that domain is available, and you've got to buy that domain. I'm like, she's right. So last year I bought the domain. I bought all the different versions of it, make sure no one gets it. I'm in the process of trademarking it too.
Amazing. I think it's super catchy.
So yeah, and I'm not going to give away everything, but we have a lot of marketing things in the works. So I would say social media, that's a big thing that my dad didn't have back then and didn't use to us, because it's just like a part of everyone's everyday lives. It's like, it's free marketing. Why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah.
And there's people out there that are haters and in their videos and meh.
I love them. Comment.
Keep
Commenting.
Guess what? Keep commenting, because we get cases from social media. And here's a big thing. If somebody goes to your Instagram, my Instagram, and they see you talk and how poised you are and how well you enunciate, wow, this guy's sharp. Look at his suit. Look at his watch. I trust that guy.
Right.
So I'm sorry. It's not, 1985 where we're going to go through the yellow book and just, look for names and call people.
Yeah.
I can actually see how you talk, see what you look like, oh, yeah, that guy's sharp. I want him representing me. So to me, that's huge. And I'm so glad I took advantage of it. Our Instagram following, our TikTok, all of that is growing day by day. I have a girl that's helping us with it. So that's huge. And then as far as like case management, years ago when I was still working with my dad, I had to encourage him, hey, can we get off the paper calendar and do Google? Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, like paper files, like, because as the state attorney's office started to go electronic, guess what? Discovery's all electronic now. Why are we still using paper files? And for big cases, we will still do paper files. However, a case management system where everything's stored in a cloud and you don't have to worry about storing boxes of paper files for 7 years or whatever the Florida bar requires in a storage facility, like, that's not necessary anymore. So there was a struggle with my dad and I for years. But now that he's, retired and enjoying his life and I'm in charge, I'm doing it my way, which is we're pretty much entirely paperless except for some cases, and the social media, and everything is digital. We function from our cell phones, our laptops. It's a totally different age.
Do you feel that social media has changed the way that clients or the community connect with you?
100%. A lot of our clients, especially some that have large social media or like Instagram, TikTok following, sometimes we'll go live with them. Like, this is my lawyer, and they're going to go live for 10 minutes. Who's got questions? And the crowds go wild, and the followers increase. It's just exposure, and it's free. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? Don't you want business?
And it's where everyone is, like 24/7. They're on their phones. They're on social media. They're on TikTok, Instagram, maybe even Facebook, depending on the age. If they're older or younger, what app they use. So it's where everyone is, and like you said, it's free.
Billboards are a thing of the past. I kind of, I was driving to a friend's house in Carrollwood a few weeks ago, and every single billboard on Del Mabry was an injury firm.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, okay, what makes that guy different from that guy? It's
So
like
it's a waste of money.
it's just excessive. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but being able to get a 10-second video in front of someone's face without them even looking for you, you just pop up or you boost a post, which you have to spend money for, but still, like, to your point, everyone's on their phone.
So the criminal defense is a very male-dominated space. And being a female, how have you navigated that space?
I'm going to disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, times have changed. And right now, Hillsborough County has more female judges than male judges. As far as criminal defense attorneys, yeah, more men than women, but there's a lot of female criminal attorneys. So when I think of like the state attorney's office, personally, more women than men, and the PD's office. I could be wrong, but I don't feel that way anymore. I really don't. I did when I first started, which, crazy enough, it's been 10 years that I've been doing defense.
Wow.
Which is wild. It's going to be 10 years in
Time
like
flies.
2 weeks. Time flies. I don't feel that way anymore.
Did you face any challenges, talking about when you first started? Did you face challenges being a woman and, like, someone who didn't respect you? And how did you confront that?
I can't really recall a certain incident where I felt that way, like disrespected or anything like that. Never. What I have learned is that as a woman, I feel that we have more of an advantage than men in a lot of ways.
Can you elaborate?
Oof. Slippery slope.
Okay. Let's see where this goes.
I'll give you an example. So, like 2 years ago, my colleague who has a criminal defense practice down in Miami, 3 weeks before his trial, it was aggravated battery, pregnant female, and domestic battery by strangulation.
Serious charges.
He was from Bangladesh. He was doing his master's at FIU for engineering, civil engineering. His master's, something like that. Anywho, he was here on a student visa, and his wife was the victim. So he started watching the Johnny Depp trial, and he tells Eric, or EJ, his attorney, I think I want a female for this trial. I think I want a female. And Eric's like, I know just the girl. So he calls me. He's like, you want to do a trial? And I'm like, the price is right.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because Eric is like, him and I are so different. I'm more like laid back and, I got this, whatever. But the victim in the case was a female. The witness was also a female, and they were buddies. And when I looked at the case and I looked at the evidence and everything, I got excited because I was like, we're going to have fun with this one. And Eric's like, really? What? Like we were just seeing it with two different sets of eyes, which made us a beautiful like match for this. And as a woman, I personally think it's much more powerful when you cross-examine another woman.
For sure.
A guy can't do that.
I agree 100%. Especially a sensitive topic like that, having a male cross-examine a female is generally just a bad look.
100%.
What was the composition of your jury by chance?
No, that's another thing. I told Eric, I go, I'm picking the jury. I'm crossing the victim. I'm crossing I did most of it, because I just felt like this is the advantage I have. I'm going to use it. Like, just trust me.
So that's interesting because it seems like you read something that made you question potentially the victim, the alleged victim, and the witness. Do you think that's something as a woman that there's something that resonated with you or stood out to you that a woman wouldn't normally do?
100%. It was very evident from the victim, the wife's messages on social media and text messages to the neighbor that she was just trying to get revenge. He didn't want to be with her anymore. She's pregnant with his kid. He didn't want to go to her family's wedding in Bangladesh. Like, there was like so many things, right? But to make another woman upset when I'm asking you questions in a calm, cool, collected manner, and I'm just, throwing the photos of you with your injuries and questioning you, and getting into the bias and everything, it's just way more powerful. And when I picked the jury, I had so I had five men, 2 women. My alternate was a guy. And I'm not going to give away my secrets, but it went really well.
Cool.
But I just knew what I was doing. And I feel like if you're good and you know how to talk to people and you have a lot of trial experience, that you can have a lot of power over men. And especially, too, I feel like with a lot of the female judges, they respect you if you are a prepared, strong, confident female. Because sometimes, you know, a lot of men, and I'm not like dogging on them, but a lot of them beg. And I feel like with us, I'm going to ask for it, but I'm going to tell you why I'm asking for it. I'm not going to mansplain.
Well, what would you say to a woman who maybe perhaps is in law school and is interested in a career in criminal law? What would you say to her?
Audition for your law school's mock trial team. You need to get into some sort of, whether you do a mock trial class. The law school I went to, and a big reason why I went to the law school I went to, shout out to South Texas College of Law, best trial advocacy program in the country. I knew going in that I wanted to be a trial attorney. I wanted to be part of the trial advocacy program, and they don't let you audition till your first summer. So you have to get through your first year, which of course is super important. And then at that first summer, they do this thing called Summer Academy. And every law school is different. I don't know if Stetson does this, but Stetson has a great trial advocacy program as well. And I auditioned. Not auditioned, but I did the Summer Academy, and basically you pick a partner. I picked this random guy, and we did our case. You have to prepare plaintiff, defense, go through the whole competition, and then at the end they rank the male and the female. And I was a top female. So
Top female.
I think I was like 1 or 2. I was
Numero uno?
I was one of the well, there were only 4 of us, like, out of the entire school that were on the trial team. There ended up being 3, myself, Jackie, Laura, and we got the opportunity to travel all over the country in law school my 2nd and 3rd year, doing mock trials, doing fake trials, right? But if you do that in law school, number one, your evidence is going to be incredible, and that is the hardest subject on the multi-state bar exam. I don't think I ever got an evidence question wrong because it was ingrained in me for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Doing it day in, day out. Also, I'll never forget when I was at the state attorney's office, I was in misdemeanor intake, and John DeStasio had a criminal mischief trial, and he needed a second chair, and he's running around the halls. I was like, I'll do it. Can I open? Boop, boop, boop. And he looks at me like, who the hell do you think you are? Like, you just started, and boom, give me the file. Like, it's the only difference is this is real.
Right.
But all the skills behind it, you learn in law school. And if you want to be a prosecutor or a public defender or trial lawyer, you need to do trial advocacy and take advantage of doing it in law school.
I think that's really important advice to anyone who's in law school, interested in law school, is take practical classes, trial advocacy, moot court, all that, because it's gonna teach you skills. You get to practice for free in law school. Yeah. Go do it, because it's going to transition into the real world. When you're in practice, you're going to already have a step above other colleagues of yours.
100%. And when I was at South Texas, a lot of the people that would judge our competitions were Supreme Court justices, some of Texas's top trial attorneys. So to me, back then, I was honored. I'm like, if I'm going to get ripped apart, at least it's by her or him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and same like now, Stetson, I know they get a lot of guest judges that are, judges here in Hillsborough County, Pinellas, really good criminal defense attorneys. It's amazing.
Some of the best trial attorneys or judges or DCA judges, Supreme Court justices. And those are the people that are going to tell you, no, say this instead. Do it this way. And that's going to teach you to be a better advocate for your client.
100%. You can learn all of that in law school. So by the time you do become, like when we started the state attorney's office, you can grab a file and go try a case.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So the practice of law in general, but especially criminal defense, as we were just talking, it's high stakes. Someone's life is on the line. Someone's liberty is on the line. And that's very stressful. How have you coped with that stress?
It's hard. It's hard. So I, as you know, live a very active, healthy lifestyle. I used to teach indoor cycling forever. I retired this past March. I miss it very much, but you have to have an outlet.
Yep.
You have to have an outlet, because what I see happen, and I myself am guilty of this as well. A lot of people turn to things that are not so good for you.
Yeah.
Whether it's alcohol, whether it's marijuana, whether it's, working too much.
Yeah.
Just burying yourself in work. There's got to be some balance. So for me, you know what? I'm going to leave today at 3:30 so I can go work out. And then I'm going to come home and work for another hour. Like, that's going to be, but just getting that release is going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Cooking for myself, that's therapeutic. Spending time with friends and family, you got to shut it off at some point. The phone's always going to be ringing. You can return that call later on and stuff like that. So you have to have balance, and you have to have boundaries. I mean, people text me at all, and I give out my personal cell phone.
Same here.
A lot of attorneys don't do that, to each their own, but that's the way I was taught. That's what my dad always did. As long as you have boundaries, I don't see that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah. I think it's important to set boundaries. You don't have to take that call. I know in the beginning you're eager. You're probably going to take that call at 9 p.m. Then you learn, I don't need to do that. I need to learn to shut off so that you have balance. And it's hard to balance in the beginning, but it's really important to do that, to find healthy outlets, not just outlets, because some people, like you said, they go to drugs or alcohol to cope. But it is a very high stress job. And I think we as lawyers, people see the Rolexes, the G-Wagons, and we glamorize and glorify this like lifestyle of lawyers, which attracts a lot of, younger kids or people who are looking for a career potentially, but they miss out on the fact that it's a very high stress job.
Yeah.
And that stress can get to you and it can break you. And so you have to find a healthy outlet to release that.
100%. I know you work out a lot.
Yes.
So
the gym is my therapy.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Or just, even if it's just going for a walk, or, meeting a friend for coffee, something. You have to break it up. And that's also going to make you a better attorney, because when you take time to recharge, right, sometimes you have to pull back to spring forward, right?
Great advice.
So a lot of times I will go away for the weekend and go somewhere where I just sit by the beach for 2 days straight and read and hang out and relax and spend time with friends and go to a spa. And I feel like when I come back to work the following Monday, I'm like excited. I'm ready. My energy's high because I recharged.
You recharged.
Like,
yeah.
Literally recharged.
No, it's great advice. And I hope more people listen to that. Looking back to when you first started, if there's something that you could have done differently, what would that be? Or I can phrase it differently. If there was something that you wish you'd known when you first started, what would that be? Something you wish you knew.
Don't chase.
Don't chase what?
Don't chase the paper. So like for criminal defense attorneys, you eat what you kill,
mm-hmm.
right? That's how we make money. And in the very beginning, I was like on top of my clients and, you owe me this. And I just wasn't doing it right. Like I wasn't making everybody sign contracts. I wasn't, and little by little, as I started to build my own clientele base, because I was riding my dad's coattail for about a year or two. I was Frank's daughter. I was like kind of in the shadow. I was in the shadow, and I would work on his cases. And then little by little, I started to get my own and build my own client base. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, like this isn't working. I need to start doing this. Okay. Figured that out. You just kind of figure it out as you go. But there's that popular saying, I don't chase, I attract. That's so true
mm-hmm.
in anything you do, because I'll have people come to my office and meet with me on a DUI, for example, and I'll quote them the fee. And this is my favorite. They'll say, well, I went to so-and-so and they charge blah, blah, blah. And I just look at them and I go, cool, you get what you pay for. And they just look at you like, and then within like 2 minutes, here's my card,
yeah.
You just have to stand firm and be confident in your skills and your abilities. Like, hey, nothing against that person. They're a great lawyer. I know them, but this is what I charge. And if you don't want to pay that, then go somewhere else. But before I would like negotiate and I just wanted to hang on to everything. And now that I'm at a place where I've been doing it for 10 years, I have an associate now that's been with me for 2 years. I'm just like overwhelmed by that exact like theory that I just said. Like you literally, when you don't chase and you have that mentality, like I attract, more comes your way.
Yeah, I agree with that philosophy.
So,
And I found myself in that same situation where people will try to negotiate percentages on a contingency. And you know, I think early on I was chasing and I was a little bit more eager to negotiate. And now I'm like, no, this is non-negotiable. This is my fee. And if, you know, so-and-so is going to do it for 10%, then good luck with them, you know? So
that almost makes the other person nervous because when they see how you're like, okay, well, you get what you pay for. So, and not to like, you know, but a lot of times there's a big discrepancy with what some attorneys
100%
charge.
And it's not bragging, but you know what you know and you know what you're worth. And I think that's an important lesson for younger people who are listening is know your worth.
100%. Know your worth. Like, this is my background. This is, you know, what I've done. These are how many cases I've tried. And not to knock on anyone else, but yeah.
If you could leave the listeners with one lesson over the years that you've been practicing, what would that be?
Oh my gosh, this is such a good question. One good lesson.
One lesson from your career that you can convey to the listeners.
So there's a famous quote by Deion Sanders, and we actually said this, I think, in the brand video that I did. It's on my website. And that famous quote is, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. Right? Mm-hmm. You've heard that quote.
Yeah.
For me, you know, get up early. Put effort into your appearance. It matters. People treat you a certain way when you look a certain way. When you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
It's true. You feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. And that's going to help your confidence. It's if you're up early and you're already dressed and ready to go, it's because you're prepared. And if you're prepared and you're early and you're feeling good, you can't lose.
Yeah.
You can't lose. So that's kind of like, I always, you know, think of that quote and I live by that. And I truly believe it. So that would be my advice is, if you're not on time, you're late.
Yeah. 100%.
So be prepared, be the best dressed, be early, and you can't lose. You really can't lose. So
great advice.
Yeah.
That resonates with me 100%. Getting up early. I'm an early bird. I think you get up before everyone else. You're already ahead, and you're already setting yourself up for success. And then just well put together. I mean, preparation, especially for a trial lawyer. What separates you from other lawyers is your preparation.
100%.
Right. And so be prepared. And that starts early in the morning when other people are asleep and you're up in the gym, you're grinding, you're getting ready for court. That separates you because you're prepared when other people aren't. And obviously your appearance. I think it's really important for lawyers to be presentable, not just for clients, but also for the judge, for the jury that you're in front of. You when you look good, you perform good. So I love that.
It's so true. I mean, think about it. If you see some attorney that's super disheveled and their tie isn't even on, you're thinking, okay, this guy is not prepared for this motion hearing that he's about to go in front of. And you're absolutely right. The judges are judging you.
Yeah, 100%.
The clients are judging you, and you have to play the part.
Francesca, thank you so much for coming on today. This was so much fun. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. And if there's any parting words you have for anyone, please share.
Shut up and call me.
There you go. Shut up and call us. Love it.
Shut up and call us. Follow us, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Shut Up and Call Us. My website is shutupandcalluscom. Thank you, Mel.
To everyone listening, thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll see you on the next episode.
Criminal defense is a fight. When people think of the word defense, they think you're playing not to lose. And I think of a criminal defense attorney as playing offense, you're playing to win. So a lot of times when people say defense, they think passive, but I think aggressive.
The courthouse is our home, and we're in those courtrooms every day, sometimes twice a day. And when we walk through those doors, we make our presence known.
news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design, some people say is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams. Days gone by. It's the bigger love of the family.
If you're facing a tough fight with your insurance company, let us take it on together. Call now for a free consultation.